Ma'am, please will you off your mic?
Yeah, sure, sure.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, everyone. It's an honor and privilege to introduce Mr. Mahesh Gera, sir, our alumni of 1988-1990 batch. Sir has done MBA marketing. Sir had pursued mechanical engineering from NIT Surat. He is driving an unconventional HR practice emerging from cross functional experience. He had a rich experience of over 29 years in varied field with expertise in human capital management, capacity building and corporate training. Being an avid learner, he went on to study strategic HRM from IIM Calcutta. Sir is currently Chief Human Resource Officer at Rustomjee, a leading real estate group. He had experience as Vice President International Business at Group Centum Learning Africa, a Bharti Airtel Group company, as General Manager for the Reliance ADA Group, and also as Corporate and Hub HR in Reliance Communication. Business Head at NIS Sparta, National Sales Head at Birla Yamaha, Business Head at Honda CL Power Products, Sales Head at Schindler Elevators, Swiss giant in the elevator industry worldwide. In Seat Tires, brief stint as a sales trainee. Apart from professional success, Sir is well admired speaker at management campuses. Sir enjoys people interaction, speaking at HR roundtables, seminars, and love to flaunt his uncanny imaginations of sense of humor. Traveling is a much in the blood as perhaps HR, and the most reason being the passion for fitness and running. He had run various marathons. That's adding wings to his creating creativity, determination, and writing skills. Sir had wrote an HR paper on leveraging talent cross boundaries for the NHRD. He is a member of Internationals Nairobi, Coffee Mug, Lunch Club, and NHRD. Sir recently being awarded Best Real Estate Professional by Z Business at Real Estate Leadership Congress and Awards. He had also listed as 101 top HR minds India by ET Now, CHRO Asia and World HRD Congress. Sir's achievements are numerous and which will take hours and days to tell. So I welcome Mahesh Gera sir to carry further today's discussion. Please sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ruchi. That was really very kind and very sweet of you. That was too many words for a simple man like me coming out of DBIM. I'm at home, so I'm feeling the goosebumps as always. I think it's such a great pleasure to be here. So let me begin by thanking each one of you, especially the efforts by our seniors who put this up together. Uh, I think it takes a lot to set up something like this, and the initial period, the inertia, and then activation, and then bringing so many people together after so many years. I think for all these years, I think we felt guilty many a time that we were not able to contribute or reach out because of constraints. But I think technology, as well as the spirit of our seniors, mentors, faculty, Dr. Renuka Garg, everyone around, I think everyone has put in so much that it is really a pleasure to be on this platform, talking to all of you, connecting up with all of you after so many years. And the best part is connecting up with the next gen. Actually, calling them even next gen is not fair because the generations are changing so fast. So I thought let me choose something which is not really so much of a corporate gyan, but something very close to my heart, something which is what I've been passionate about, and something what I feel I can relate to so much in my own journey as well as of many others. So I chose this subject, mindsets and beyond. So please feel free to ask me or share your thoughts. It's more like an engaging session. So I do certainly have a presentation, and I hope it does not take you all away. So please hold your breath. I would like to share my screen and share a small little story. Probably allow me to present my screen. Uh, if someone can just confirm if the screen is visible.
It is not yet visible, sir.
Okay, allow me to just check that again. Okay. Yeah, so I had yet to actually share maybe. Yeah. Is it visible now?
Yes, sir. Now it is visible.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. So I think this is a very interesting subject, which I feel in the recent times, wherever I spoke, I loved talking about this. And it starts with the thought, fortune favors the prepared mind. Are you ready for the change? Or is it a mindset? End of the day, you are the key. This was one caption, one wonderful line that we all lived with in the year 1984. And my senior, Mr. Suresh Saraf, was the president of Rotaract Club. I went on to take that on, and then Rotary had this line, and I always love this. It says, "You are the key." Including Munira ma'am, I guess, was there in those days attached to Rotary. So it talks about hashtag changing mindsets, or simply minding change is one of the thoughts which I'm going to be talking about. And the first thought comes to you is, so what's your biggest mindset today? Or do we have any in the first place? Uh, Most of us may still be thinking, but then for starters, here are some. And I have kind of tried to make it for our the next gen, for our folks at the campus. So some of them would have very specific mindsets coming from the corporate world, but some of these mindsets are very common to each one of us. Starting with the first one, I think that you don't have time, is one mindset we all had. I think the biggest coach, the biggest tutor for all of us has been the COVID times, because they say, I think Jack Ma had said right in the beginning that if out of this you don't come out with learning at least one thing new, uh, then it was never time which was an issue. So this is one time where all of us had so much of time, or that you need to perhaps be in the top 10 to be hired by the best. Now this is for my students in the campus, because all of us are continuously in that debate in our mind that you should have studied in an English medium school. While it may not be much of a challenge in South Gujarat, it's quite a developed state, developed part of and one of the best states in the country for that matter. And South Gujarat is one of the most progressive in those territories. And I'm sure I am talking about this for people who would have probably started their journey decades ago. But even today, it's relevant that you can't be a good or people around us whom we want to outdo. It could even be a sibling, it could be a close buddy. And whenever I look at that, I'm reminded of that Three Idiots dialogue, दोस्त अगर फेल हो जाए तो बहुत अफसोस होता है, but अगर वो टॉप पर आ जाए तो और भी ज्यादा अफसोस होता है. So we end up creating that kind of benchmarks for our own self, and thinking I have a mindset of whether I can really outdo him or her. That you will need money to make money entrepreneurially, or for that matter, that money alone can help build an empire. I think these have been proven multiply wrong, but still the mindset stays on sometimes, if at all it is. Allow me to say all these. For some of these, you may not really have a mindset, and I am so conscious of the fact that we have such an august gathering in our association, and if this is being shared live with some of my seniors, my mentors, many of you we learned from, and many of them we feel so happy and proud today when we look at the association charter and we look at the highly accomplished people across the world, including people from my own batch. They are spread all over the world, and such a beautiful thing to experience. So allow me to say this: if some of them are not your mindsets, doesn't mean they are not for someone else. So I'm just taking them as a starter. That you made a mistake choosing finance or marketing. Now, this is a very big mindset. When I go to campuses for hiring, or students reach out to us, or they seek guidance, I think one of the biggest questions they are asking: have I, chosen the right subject? I was reminded of, and in fact, I was talking to last week with Vipul Bhai, and Nishit Bhai's talk last week, all of them had started somewhere else, and probably they are differently leading a life today. So I think it takes a lot of time for all of us to discover our passions. So it could still remain a mindset for many, but there are stories to tell. So I thought, let me choose this also because this is an important one. There are job paying unicorns that you see. I think everyone is also getting into that. Or for that matter, you can't grow in smaller companies. A contrast to that, if you are in a smaller company, you may have a mindset, though, how will I grow here? It's so small. Or you can only get a slow and steady growth in career. Something faster will take years. This is another one, and I get amazingly surprised every year because after so many years, almost 3 decades of a career, we do see, and sitting in that room in HR, you can look at the entire organization and you can easily differentiate. You can figure out who's doing differently by virtue of what, and that's such an amazing feeling that you are able to filter out that, okay, this action differentiates these people. And I think there are stories to tell, there are ample things to learn from them, and there are amazing results and outcomes that people achieve by simply being different and simply shedding their mindsets. Or there was always a mindset, learning ends at the campus. And I always say, or learning begins only outside of it. When we were sitting all the time in the canteen in our campus days, I don't know what should be right, whether learning ends at campus, begins at a campus, or etc., etc. But I personally feel learning happens all across 24/7, including at canteens or including in your classrooms. Of course, I'm not propagating that you should bunk classes and be in the canteen, but then those are very enjoyable days to remember sometimes. Today we realize that coming from a small town, you have a disadvantage. Now, I can always relate to this because I came in from a very small town in Haryana called Fatehabad, which is about 220 odd kilometers from Gurgaon or Delhi. Uh, but we always, I think it is not the disadvantage of the small town, but of the technology that is completely making us look at things very differently. But I don't think there was any disadvantage in anything. But still, the mindsets remain. Or that graduating from IIMs is the biggest ticket to success. I have seen people who have been to the best of the institutes, yet not made it that big in life, and as well as people who have come from a very humble beginning, from very mediocre institutes, and have really conquered the corporate world or in their own life, at their own terms. I think very, very enjoyable to see that, etc., etc. So basically, I just thought I'll put the context of the subject in these slides. So, uh, and I also thought of some stories. I think stories which are as fresh and as live as today morning, and I'm sure all of you will relate to. Of course, the golden words from Nelson Mandela, which said, I never lose, I either win or learn. So I completely feel that every day is a learning. And what better way to learn from these stories? Look at this culmination of a 5-year long journey, one that was filled with ups and downs. All of you heard about it, the Rio to Tokyo story. Uh, I think uh, we have heard some such amazing names in the last about week 10 days that life looks so very different. So I picked it from there so that each one of us can relate to it better, uh, and live it afresh along with the story that it is. So I think a journey from Nonpong Kakching, in fact, a name which we are still a tongue twister to us because we have learned it probably for many of us, for millions of us, they heard it for the first time. From there to Tokyo when Mirabai hit the headlines. So born in a poor family in Nongpong Kakching, a village in Impal. Uh, and as a kid, Mirabai used to lift firewood with her siblings, and she shot to fame when she won a silver medal at the 2014 Commonwealth Games. Folks, it is just about 7 years back. I mean, we are talking about her today, but of course, it is just about 7 years back. Why so? In Rio 2016, went to compete in Rio Olympics, but could not even complete the event. Why I'm sharing this with you is that, sometimes when we look at people who at their podium, or when we look at people in high places or their success stories, we feel probably everything must have been hunky dory for them. Is that really true? So look at it. Failure almost became too much to take in. Injuries did not help her cause. Post Rio, she was depressed, contemplating quitting the sport. And finally, she came back in the game in the year and got back to the drawing board. So there are times when you need to revisit all your goals, all your plans. Even if you have shared your mindset once, just don't leave it at the first failure or the first challenge that you face. You will face many. And I'm sure all of us face, each one of us has a story to tell. Uh, I'm sure and equivalent if stories of success as well as of hard work, of how things got difficult for them. Last talk we were hearing about an entrepreneurial journey of one of our seniors. So I think everyone has a story to tell, and I'm sure you'll be able to relate to this. But she picked herself up and focused on training. Training will be very important. When you go back to the drawing board, you will have to rejig your entire game plan and upskill and plan well, do well. In 2017, Mirabai returned at the World Championship and stunned the world by winning gold and became the first Indian weightlifting champion in over 20 years. Did it end there? It does not matter how slowly you go as long as you do not stop. So goal at that 2018 event with a total lift of, she got a gold of 196 kg. At the 2019 World Championship, there was heartbreak again for Mirabai, who finished fourth. In 2020, she bettered her world record, World Championship mark of 201 kgs to lift 203 kgs. Sorry. But in Tashkent, she did something that truly immortalized her in the sports history. So she lifted 119 kgs in clean and jerk to set a world record. And there was just one final hurdle, the Olympics. And the legacy got etched in silver. We all saw it. And she was so relaxed and calm. And I think that's the beauty of it. From starting with whatever mental blocks, mindsets, challenges, hurdles, but the mission and the focus was clear. And so you reach a stage where you're completely relaxed, you're calm when it's your final moments. And I think having reached there, of course, the journey only begins further. She maintained her level and got India the silver medal. Look at this, another story. I've chosen all of these with a purpose, folks. So you may be wondering, Mahesh, we have seen all this in all the media reports, so much of TV and so much of limelight in WhatsApp stories. But I think there is still lots more to learn from each one of them. And I think it will go on for years together. Look at this Rani Rampal story, our Indian hockey, women's hockey team captain. So much there's so much to learn from her story, and her parents hardly had anything. Her father was a cart puller, her mom was a domestic help somewhere, and she really had a struggle early days with the father working as a cart puller and mother as a house help. It became difficult to make ends meet. She started it with a broken hockey. Why a broken hockey? Because her coach would not accept. She had difficulties, electricity shortages, mosquitoes buzzing in her ear, barely having two meals, to see her home getting flooded and things like that. Every day she would ask her coach to teach, but he would reject because she was not appearing strong enough. She did not even have enough food. How would she pull through a practice session? So she was almost rejected there, and she started with this broken hockey scenario that we are talking about. She started practicing with it and finally managed to convince the coach. I think when someone wrote that a picture speaks 1,000 words, probably was referring to this picture in hindsight, or I don't know, foresight rather. So family didn't want her to play hockey. But seeing her persistence, they gave in. At the academy, it was mandatory to bring 500 ml milk every day. But her family could only afford 200 ml. She would actually mix water in it because that's the kind of determination she had. That's the kind of spirit she had. The focus, determination, and everything was on. She wanted to make it. So finally, there was a day when she won 500 rupees in a tournament and gave it to her father. His father had not even held so much of money, while that's how they say. He had not even seen that much of money in his hands. It's a reality, folks. Sometimes we miss out in our blessings, that the world is not so kind to everyone equally. But then, if it is in you, I think world is equally kind. God has been kind to all, and there are all the things available for you. The world will work with you to help you achieve. And I think that's the story I'm talking about today. Rani decided to buy a home and did everything in her power to work towards the goal. Uh, she got a national call at the age of 15, and with family support and effort, she could finally become the captain of the Indian hockey team. In 2017, she fulfilled her dream of buying a home. Look at it, starting from where. And then the story which the whole nation is talking about, Subedar to gold medalist at Olympics, Neeraj Chopra, born in a family of farmers from a small village in Haryana in Panipat. And in fact, he was a very obese child and had he picked up the javelin to, lose weight, because folks around him used to joke and say, you look like a sarpanch. Probably they must have been saying it in Haryana, and I come from Haryana, so I do know how they must have been teasing him. But look at the response. He started with the javelin and started liking it. So what does it mean? You start something with a different reason, but then you start liking it. I think that's one of the mantras, that it's end of the day what you will be successful at, or whatever you start doing, you have to start liking it. You have to put your passion into it. You have to put your heart into it, and I'm sure you will start getting results. Look at this. Neeraj went on to be an under 20 world record creator with 86.48 meters throw. Uh, One of the stories, the beginning of a story for him, he set the new junior world record with a throw of 86.48 meters. And then, of course, rest is history, as they say. Won the Asian Championship in 2017, went on to win at the Commonwealth Games 2018, where he won gold with 86.47, joined Rajputana Rifles, and was selected I think that was another turning point, because they selected him for training at Mission Olympics Wing and Army Sports Institute. As they say, Rome was not built in a day. You may only choose something today. Does it mean that is the final course? Probably not. I think most of us have seen that the course goes on changing. The opportunities will keep coming your way. Which one will strike, you won't even know. And I think that is the most important part. Especially the younger gen needs to understand that make a start. Just don't worry about it too much today. I think it's for you. There will be, that one of my elder cousins used to always tell me in my childhood, whenever I used to be a little anxious, he will always tell me, Mahesh, God has a plan for everyone. So just don't worry. He was an IITian, one of the inspirations for me in those days. And forever, in fact, he went on to do very well. And I really learned a lot from him. So I think those words are golden sometimes. They come in a very casual chat. Even today, when you speak to a mentor, he may very casually mention something, but you really will find those words coming true sometime in your life. So I do appreciate today. After 3 decades, today I can tell you, when I look back, there must have been so many things. Our faculty, our coaches, our mentors, our family, our for that matter, our friends. I mean, who can forget those long conversations in the hostel? I still remember my room number 4 in the university hostel. I understand now things have changed a lot. I promised Dr. Renuka Garg that I will visit the institute very soon. I'm so looking forward to it, and hopefully meeting some of you there as well. Our batch has been doing wonderful, reunions. One of the early one was at the campus, but I missed out. But this time around, I'm definitely going to make it. So those conversations that you are having in your hostel room with your friends, or even cross-functionally, you may be not necessarily talking to people from your domain. I when I go for an HR roundtable somewhere, an HR forum, and I meet various HR folks, I think they come from all backgrounds. They are not necessarily coming from HR. Many of them come from specialized fields, their own learnings, and I think things do change. So start focusing on whatever you are picking up today, be it a javelin or be it today's thought. Work on it. I'm sure you will create gold for you, like Neeraj did for all of us, created a history in the entire athletic world history for us, actually. Uh, the nation, he's done the nation so much proud, done each one of us so much of proud. But genuinely, uh, ask yourself, just before the Olympics, how many of us actually knew him perhaps? While he has been in this game for so many years, many of us would not even have taken that much of interest. But when it reaches the crescendo, the entire world will be standing by you. That's the point I want to bring home. Don't worry about who is talking, who is recognizing, who is with you today or not. But I think everything will come. There will be a time. There's another story, the last one, of course, from the recent Olympics. I have better stories further for you. So, which you will, because I know you have some thoughts going on in your mind. Mahesh, ye to Olympics ki baatein hain. Fine, we'll talk about it. So, a bronze is worth the gold, is what Bajrang Punia proved for all of us. Punia actually had suffered a knee injury, and I think for many of my folk, my seniors, and many of us in that generation, we are all worried about our knees whenever it comes to doing something, and we are cautioned multiple times. Or injuries, of course, we all need to take care. But I think there are times when you have to not worry so much. You have to give in to the flow, the passion, the focus, the drive, the energy, the enthusiasm that you created around your goals. I think there are times when you have to bear with all those things that happen to you. So he had not one; he had actually two injuries just before Olympics, and his coach had actually, he was advised to tie a tape around his feet that day, but he had an injury still. He did not feel like tying the legs. He told the doctor, in Tokyo, that it's okay, even if because his doctor had cautioned him that you may get an injury if you go like this. He said, nothing doing. This is my goal. I had come here to take a medal, and so even if I go back injured, it's okay. But look at it this way: that if I run like this with my full potential and freedom, I'll end up getting my medal at least. And I think that's what he did. And Bajrang Punia again did us all proud. Uh, Sorry, I thought that was the last, but I guess how could I miss Aditi Ashok story, which went on to trend on Twitter at 2 a.m. Aditi Ashok created history while she did not bring us a medal. But look at it, 3 days before that shot, she was ranked 200th on the world ranking charts. 200th. First time ever an Indian golfer went on to be at the fourth place. And that was amazing. She was one of the top trends at 2 a.m. on Twitter that day. The Beyond the Olympics now, I said there are most amazing stories. I think some of my closest mentors have talked about this story. My closest buddies, whenever we talk about Arunima Sinha. What an inspiration! I hope you must be already knowing the story, but look at it this way. Uh, Completely indomitable spirit, and she had one leg amputated when she was at the hospital bed. She was practically helpless. She was told that she'll hardly be able to walk comfortably. She had an amputation, but she went on to decide, she took a vow that many would actually think impossible, and she decided that that day onwards that she's going to conquer Mount Everest. She's going to scale that peak. So folks, you have goals. You have them inside your heart. You have them inside somewhere. You're living some of them in your dreams. But I think it's important to be crazy about them. if you have it in you and you are decided that you want to make it, and there is no criteria of making it big. I personally feel, make it to where you feel it makes you happy. Achieve or do whatever you enjoy doing the most. Put all your passion into it, all your heart into it. Give it your best learning, and learn from all the challenges. Learn from every step, and I'm sure you will you will find solutions. Finally, they always say, the problem is not the problem. The problem is your attitude about the problem. I was just reflecting and thinking, how our DBIM days used to be. Uh, I think we used to have definitely a lot of challenge. We always used to think, we are in Surat, Mumbai. Most corporates are in Mumbai. How will be the placement? Uh, how will we, compete with people from those campuses? And there used to be a lot of anxieties. I think some of them were confidence-shattering anxieties. But all I want to tell you is today, and of course, some of you may be thinking, Mahesh, it may be easy to talk today. But no, it's not like that. Today, when I'm sitting in this role in HR and I go to so many campuses, we go to all the best of the campuses to hire, including IIMs. And when we look at the students, a group of students, even within them, there are different, amazing difference, amazing you can say there's a sense of differentiation each one of them has created for themselves. They come across with a lot of confidence, and what gives you confidence? That confidence that you need to have is your self-belief. Why I'm talking about these stories today is because I feel that while we do have ample enough learning coming from the WhatsApp University, the YouTube, and the technology makes it so easy for us. But what is important is, am I taking a leaf from any one of them, each one of them, every one of them? How do I make it the best coming from all those learnings? So give each of your problems um, a stand, a face, give it a resolve, and go ahead with your best confidence shot, the best javelin that you have. Don't you worry about it. I am sure each one of you will come out like a rock star. You have so many of our seniors around who are here to show you that the proof is in the pudding. And I think for each one of you, the pudding is just waiting for you to have come out of your shell, or at least taken that first step. I'm sure all of you, I should not be assuming that you have not done that, and you are not already on your way. But I am especially saying this for those who are waiting by the pool side, looking at others who are swimming, and they are still thinking whether I should jump or I should not jump. So I think it's time. Let your confidence be unshackled and work on things. And what are those things? Uh, when I look at various functions across the entire organizational hierarchy, and when I look at my entire leadership team, or across all those companies where I worked, or where I had my managers, my leaders, my mentors, my coaches, I think each one of them, one of the key things which we could see, and I think Ruby Lahir, the last session I could manage to go through on the YouTube. That was such a blessing, wonderful session by Ruby and Nishit Bhai. Ruby talked about communication skills, and I think such a basic and such a huge thing for each one of you. You will be surprised. Ultimately, when you grow up to those levels, or when you are in the race, those will be the differentiators. So work on your communication skills, I think, is the mantra forever. Sometimes I joke with people, when we do assessment centers, development centers for the senior most leadership team, and finally when we go to the final solutions, even when you go to the Harvard for asking for solutions, I think the best of the modules have such a huge piece in communication. And guess what? The best of that is not in communication on talking, like I'm yapping and talking. I think the best of that is in listening. And I think all of you have been beautiful listeners today. Keep it up. I think listening skill, or communication skill, and communication as a whole, your spoken things will also help you. You need to give it a try. I think many of us just don't give it a try. You will have to stick out your neck. There will be times when you will feel okay. There will be people who may not like it. There will be people who will criticize you. There will be people who may even make fun of you. But just doesn't matter. I can only tell you one thing. Every time I have stuck my neck out, I have learned something new and I've completely enjoyed it. So I think let's give it to the problems. And then you may also say, okay, Mahesh, these are exceptionally gifted people. They are very lucky, probably. These are one in a million. And I also have to do this. I have to also do this. I also have this problem. I also have that problem. And then who does it in a corporate life? ये ठीक है इनका तो career is sports है ना. No, so I had this beautiful learning I got when we were at IIM Ahmedabad for a campus about 2 years back, and I was sitting there. We were waiting for someone for a meeting, and there was this wonderful in-house magazine lying there, which had this article which I clicked a picture of. Here's this man who ran the Empire State Building. I think a lot of folks from US they would know about him perhaps. At the age of 67 in 2011, late Jayant Pendarkar, under 30 minutes, 1576 steps. He reached the observation deck on the 86th floor at a height of 303 meters. And you sometimes think, yeah, should I really take these 2 flights of stairs in my department? Yeah, lift nahi hai kya? Really? So I think, sorry, I was just putting it for the sake of someone. Next time you see a flight of stairs, maybe think about this inspirational story. I think there are amazing ways people in the corporate world have done things to keep healthy, keep fit. And that's the mantra today. As I said, I don't want to give you corporate gyan today. I want to talk about your personal life. I want to talk about what can change your life. And I learned it so late in my life, perhaps. You guys are, you are in early 20s maybe. And I think most of you at the campus, I think that should work for you. So Shiv Kheda wrote this beautiful book. He said, you can win. And I actually recoined the title for this slide. It says, anyone can win. And anyone can run. I think this is the story the closest to my heart story, the story I brag about a lot. I try to flaunt. I get ridiculed by my folks and family many a time. Hey, listen, Abhi Mahesh aaya, now he's going to talk about this. So I think this is the story I want to take each one of you to, including my seniors, mentors, and I'm sure all of you have been doing your bit in different ways. But this is the story I want to tell. Life is a marathon, as they say, of course. And I have started saying it always as, of course, most of us know that it's a mind game in the end. It's, I feel it's a mind game more than anything else. So this is a story which began in 2017. I was not a runner at the age of about 52. I had not run enough. I had not done enough. Probably life was very busy. You always have this. Your life starts like a business executive. You're busy working. You have children. You only go and drop them to the bus, and that gives you a morning walk. You may probably have a couple of rounds with your friends at that time. I mean, that was my story. Many of you, of course, have been very diligent, dedicated to this right from the beginning. I have wonderful batchmates who are amazing, who have done so well, and many of you would be doing so beautifully well in your life from much early on. But I think I learned this lesson hard way much later in life, and I feel I must tell this story so that it helps those who are sitting by the side lanes. So back in early 2017, morning walks. Sorry, I think I just quickly had a check on my clock. I may go on and on, but I think we have a little less time, but I'll quickly run you through. So there was this beautiful morning of 2017. I was not a runner, went into this park, and I thought I saw some people, and who were into running there in that park. So I thought, why not? Why don't I also try running, 200 to 300 meters, and then you can see my picture on the right corner. Yes, it completely resembles me. That is what happens to you if you have not done it before. And there was this greeting provocation. So when I went into this 600-acre biodiversity park in Gurgaon, there were runners who were crossing me. There were one round was about 3.15 kilometers, and while running, they will say good morning, and they will do it once, twice, and you will it would provoke you. You know, my God, these guys are amazing. How they are running, and then when every round they will say good morning, it will actually provoke you further. So I decided, that I need to follow this, take something from these guys. So I picked up a 100-day challenge starting on the 22nd of April 2017. And in no time, I started from 300 meters to 1 kilometer. In 15 days, I ran 3.15 kilometers in 35 minutes. Shortly, it was 23 minutes. And then the story completely changed. I went with the I too can do it syndrome, and that is the one I'm propagating today. I want each one of you to do it. In 30 to 40 days, 2 rounds of the track, which was 6.3 kilometers in about 50 minutes, is what I started doing. And we thought life will be simple, right? It actually was. From tires to elevators to gensets to education to telecom to real estate. That's the journey. You know, I'm building it within my run to tell you that, that nothing is cast in stone. Where you will start from, where you will end, honestly, we don't know. But please enjoy the journey. Each place will be wonderful. I started in marketing and sales. For 15 years, I was in sales and marketing, business development, went into corporate training, went into business HR, went into corporate HR, went into international business thereafter as an expat, then came back into corporate HR. So then there was working in multinationals to traditionally managed organizations to entrepreneurial stints to international promoter-driven organizations to lastly passion-driven. I think that's the most important. And from agriculture to cross cultures, coming from agriculture background and agriculture family, completely enjoy that background even today. We continue to have those farms in Haryana. And of course, to cross cultures of being an expat in Africa, I think this whole journey gave this so much to learn from, and everything was had a lesson and had a story for me to carry. So there was a certain VUCA world around it. What was volatile? Everything. What was certain? Nothing. Was everything simple? No. What was ambiguous? Almost everything. But as they always say, determination and willpower, the hunger to succeed and the hunger to win are the two ingredients that you will need to carry and take along. So I had this I can do more attitude. And on the 109th day, 8.5 kilometers in 1 hour, 10 minutes, on 11th August 2017, I first time ran that on my father's birthday, and I always used to write small notes for him. Just sharing this with you, it's coming from my personal story. But then there was a twist in the tale. 17th August 2017, and I joined Rustamji and then joined the Mumbai Life. So morning run was stopped, volatile traffic, uncertain potholes, complex lifestyle, ambiguous mindsets, and I was in a dilemma again, Do I really want this? I want to do this? So basically the journey had to begin again. It was important to deal with all my VUCA world where the run was gone, the gym was gone, the sun was gone, and the grind was on. Until 13th January 2019, to my closest buddies, I made this promise that I will start again, running again, and it all starts again. And he starts on Strava this time. Now technology over all these years, we have actually moved from, the Raymonds to or Gucci's of the world to Strava to Garmin to various other, or the Decathlons of the world, the words, names, brands which we had never heard of. And then there was this wonderful thing which I want to tell everyone. One of the mindsets always we have when we have a morning flight at 7 a.m., we are actually scared the whole night that we'll miss it. And I was on this resolve that nothing can stop my journey to run. So I decided to wake up 1 hour before the flight for a 7 a.m. departure. So I set my clock further 1 hour before and finished my run before I had to take the flight. So it says commitment to passion, feel free to call it addiction. Actually, you become crazy if you pick up those goals. So come what may, I'll do it attitude and whatever it takes. Of course, you need to ensure that once you have picked it up, you have to go ahead and do it. Your mindsets will leave you behind. While it was not only about flights, on 26th July, I had to visit a close buddy from NIT-SURAT in Baroda. I had to take a Shatabdi. Now I knew I cannot go for a run today, 5 o'clock Shatabdi, 5:40, or I don't know what time. But then I chose to walk 4 rounds of the platform and ensured that I do my, I don't let my passion break. On the 1st August 2019, I finally did a first time a 10-kilometer on a treadmill. I did my own TMM. I have used the word my very own TMM because TMM did not allow me to participate. They had a qualifying criteria before that. And that was my own, which I created then. I went on to do this first outdoor run. Thereafter, of course, there was no looking back. This is my home ground. Went on to run in IIT Powai. And finally, on 1st December, having started in the Jan of 19, on the 1st December 2019, in one of the runs, in my, of course, my age category of 50 years and above, I was luckily ranked 6th on the leadership board. And I felt so proud that in such a limited time, we can manage this. Sorry, someone wants to say something? With the time you want to remind me of? I just quickly wind up.
No, by mistake, I guess the mic
All right,
was on.
all right. Can I continue for some more time?
Yes, sir, you can.
All right, thank you. So then there were very many magical moments running in the RAs, forest, and finally everything tests, as they say, mindsets test you much alike. And I want you to read this quote for yourself. It says, before every run is a race between your mind and an excuse. Win it. I think that's the most important part we need to do. And then, of course, once it becomes a habit wherever you are, I also discovered another passion of writing. After every run, I will write on Strava. So there will be a small snippet that I will write more like a blog, but only for my closer friend circle. And went on to run finally my first half marathon on the 9th Feb 2020, which was 21 kilometers in not bad at 2 hours 29 minutes, and completely enjoyed it. Now, what is it about marathon and the VUCA world of corporates? What is it that I want to talk about for all of you to take from here? It is what gets measured gets done. Why did I put all those statistics for you? Not because I wanted to show off or brag about what I have enjoyed doing. No, but because I was tracking it, there's a way of measuring, there's a way of setting goals. I think I felt that I could go on achieving it because it set the tempo for me. It sets the momentum, and the team mission and everything helped. Cheering up helps. When you go for running a marathon, there are marshals who help you, they cheer you up. Look at diversity and inclusion. Gender is not a challenge there, age is not a challenge there, education is not a challenge there, language is not a challenge there, caste is not a challenge there. Nothing matters. You could have anyone running with you, but I think the goal, and I think it completely differentiates you. It puts you in that stream. Frequently checking your pace of project timelines help. Much like in a run, you go on checking your pace at every milestone. It gives you a prompt. You need to do that for your project timelines. While it's good to be a team player and run with the group, it's important to keep moving and choosing the group that matches the speed of your target. Now, what happens is when you go to a marathon, there is a whole world which that day comes and wants to run. There'll be people who are there just for fun. There are people who want to just chill out. There will be groups who are focused and they want to run very fast. There are groups which are running with their flow and passion. So it is important, if you got there as a team player, go run with the team, certainly. But it's also important that you choose your own speed. And this is true in your corporate life as well. When you start working in a corporate, in an organization, you will have, you need to be a team player, but at the same time, do work on your own skills. Do work on your own pace, your own growth, and how are you going to shape it up. Don't go overboard when it comes to precautions. While there will be a lot of precautions, people will say, don't do this, don't do that, you will injure yourself, you will do this. While it's important to learn, but don't get overawed by them, don't really get scared of anything. Being natural in the end may save your life. Everyone, including the warm-up team, the signages, the volunteers, the logistics, the environment, timing, all have a role to play in making you successful. And they do if you are willing. And I say this from a run because it is the same in the corporate world. It is the same in your department. It is the same in your family life. Everyone will help you in whatever they are saying. Even if they are criticizing you, please understand they love you. They care for you. That's why they are telling you all these things. So please, all of them actually want you to be successful. Once you commit, you can make it. and personal best is only meant to create another personal best. So at every run we go and check our personal best. They also say for a one larger target you need to choose interim shorter targets, even amidst the same color t-shirts. Now that's a joke I have. When I was running the first time, I found one particular focus group running along with me. When they crossed me, that their lead guy said, okay, now the next is yellow. That means they were targeting a t-shirt ahead of them which was color yellow in it. They said, okay, now we'll target to cross yellow, then they will target to cross green, likewise. So create smaller targets instead of being scared by a very long target. How will I do that much? Let the water and energizers not distract you from the focus. On the way, you will have energizers, water, all services available. Yes, wherever you need, there is a certain amount you need of everything. Technically, biologically, those things have to be taken care of and by your training, but let it not distract you from your focus. A good warm up before will help as much as the fun after. You don't need to, for every run, they say the pre and the post run is very important for the technique, for your health, for your best performance. I think it is true even in the corporate life. For every project, every presentation, you need to do a pre-run, do a dry run. For every interview that you're going to go and give in the campus, don't just turn up. Do a good warm up before it. Uh, in the end of it all, the start and the finish line is the same in some way. I always say this because usually in a run, the organizers are sitting at the same place. You go take a loop and come back. The finish line is around there. But end of the day, the finish announces the arrival of the new start to be. And I always say, zoom on life, not on pics. I have put a lot of pics just for you to believe in the story, nothing else. And otherwise, you would have said Mahesh came and gave some story we did not believe in. But anyway, in the end, this Shah Rukh Khan dialogue, which became very famous, which said, कहते हैं कि अगर किसी चीज को दिल से चाहो तो पूरी कायनात उसे तुमसे मिलाने की कोशिश में लग जाती है. Simply shed your mindsets and give it a start. Then there will always be a method in the madness and chaos. And one of the favorite pics which I picked from the newspaper last year, this is a Chilean, and Gino says, in the calm amid chaos was the caption of this picture in the newspaper. It says, in every moment there comes a time to relax. Obviously, in a revolution, you get hot, uncomfortable in your suit, and your tie snugs up. Actually, he's a protester, 68-year-old protester. The background is that these guys, Chileans are all protesting, and their protests are very common. That protest is going on for a metro rail fare. But look at the calm he is in. Look at amidst the chaos, he's enjoying his drink. And that's how I wish all of you. Chaos will be always there. Shed the mindsets, be calm, enjoy your life. Welcome to the journey. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I would like to request Pearl to share vote of thanks. Pearl.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, sir, for your time. Thank you for your inspirational talk and enthusiasm. We kept listening because you had so much energy in your speech. Thank you so much for that. We needed this so much, especially in this time of COVID-19, because there's so much uncertainty in the world. We are educating ourselves, but we don't know what the market will look like when we come out of this. And we don't know if what we are doing will position us in a way that we will be able to take hold of every opportunity that comes out there. So it was important for us to know and to remember, like it is said, that as a man thinketh, so is he. Most of what we are facing and the biggest challenge is always in the mind. And also to know from you that, a good warm-up is important. Someone once told me that you can group P's into 5 P's. Prior preparation makes sure to prepare you for a good performance. So the fact that right now we are prior planning and preparing ourselves for good performance means that we will be in a better space when we come out of here. So thank you so much for that. And also your story about the running and the way you started is just a reminder to us that, in life, good habits breed other good habits. It started off as running for you, but now you have that running experience and journey of running has now kind of got into your life and the way you approach your work ethic and the way you transform yourself and your family and everything. So for us also, that was another good learning curve. Thank you so much for your speech. And thank you so much for the quote. I really liked it that before everyone, there is a race between your mind and um, an excuse. So we should win it. All the time we should allow our minds to win it. All the time we should not allow the excuses to win. That was really a powerful quote. Thank you so much, sir. We were really imparted with your inspiration, with your stories, and we hope that the future keeps getting brighter for you. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Really enjoyed. I hope I did justice to it, and look forward to engaging with all of you sometime soon. Uh, Thank you. Thank you for having me on board here. Any questions? I don't know if it's too late for it or something.
No,
Anybody has
it
a
is
question?
not at all late. So if students or we have we are privileged that so many alumni have also joined. So if in case anyone is having any question, you can surely ask. So, uh, Badresh Shah had raised the hand. So if you want to share something, sir. So Shruti has written somewhere something here. So she's asking, "Hello, sir. There are more confusing options between the options, like what you do and what you would like to do. So which option you recommend for other to choose?"
I think that's a very good question, Shruti, and I think thanks for asking this. I think majority of us have this dilemma, and we begin by what we want to do, but in the journey, then we get to know that probably we like something different. So it's a journey of discovery, and you'll be surprised that you are not alone. I think a large number of people end up leaving even their graduation at the final year and in order to pursue their passions. I think some of these things very beautifully came up in that film which we all saw, Three Idiots. But I think from my side, I can only tell you that the journey went on changing as we went along with it. To begin with, you can start liking what you have got into. Okay, probably many of us get into a stream by pressure of parents, or I would not even call pressure of parents, because parents also have learning from somewhere. uh, Everybody guides and we pick up that career, and once you come to the campus, we realize we discover our actual likings, dislikings of various subjects. You actually become a subject matter expert after that. So don't worry about it. Don't stay confused for some time, and I think you will find your direction. But do enjoy whatever you do, and you will certainly find the passion. Is my belief, firm belief.
Yeah, maybe she is asking because nowadays students are confused for the specialization. I think it is in
So
that
to that,
context
yeah,
what
to that I
Shruti
want
has
to,
written.
I can quickly tell you how I came into HR. I was never into HR. I was in sales and marketing for good 15 years. I was in fact heading a national sales team. And then I joined another organization which was into corporate training. I had actually joined them into operations, but there was an opportunity and they asked me, that Mahesh, we find you very passionate about your subjects. Would you like to get into training? And I picked this up, uh, post which I of course had to lead it from the front. So I went on through various certifications and stuff like that. But I realized that my passion, I discovered my passion definitely in that process. And in one of the programs which one of our CEOs was attending, in one of my workshops, he, at the end of the day, he walked up to me and he said, Mahesh, we've been listening to you since morning. I think you should be heading our HR. I always tell this story to everyone because I think that was such a seamless movement for me from sales and marketing to HR, and I had never done HR before. But I must also caution, while all these changes will come your way, you will have to also give your commitment to deliver in those changes. for which you will have to then learn, and your learnability should not go down. You should be open to learn even from, and in fact, today's world talks so much about reverse mentoring. We should be able to learn even from your juniors, from the younger generation. So much to learn. So I think a lot lies there.
Yeah.
I hope we did not confuse you more.
Of course not. Thank you so much, sir. Students, if you're having any other questions, you can just ask.
Folks,
Okay, so
please feel free. If there is anything I can help you with anytime, you can ask here, or you can even reach out to me on LinkedIn. Always there, ready to help. I'm always available. But I'll be happy if you have something which can help everyone. You feel free to ask. Don't hesitate. Uh, these forums are only with the purpose of helping each one of us learn from each other. So I'll also probably learn something in the process. Go ahead.
thank you, everyone. Thank you, sir, and thank you, K-Hub and DBI Alumni. We are ending the session now. Thank you, everyone. And I'll be sharing one form on the students' WhatsApp group. So I would like to request all the people who have attended the session to please fill the feedback form. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everyone. It was a pleasure being here, and thanks for all the good work that you did for setting this up. I completely enjoyed it.